Hello, BookTube. So the eagle-eyed among you will have noticed that yesterday we did not have that melancholy moment, the last mail haul of the week. And the reason for that is not because I'm old and doddering and forgot. Thank you very much. It's that, once again, because it was a Saturday and I wasn't my usual delivery people, the deliveries didn't arrive until well after dark. After I'd given up on them completely. I do occasionally, it's horrible for me to admit, but I do occasionally have a day where I get no books in the mail. That is a weekday. This occasionally does happen. Not often, once in a blue moon, once a year. But I philosophically made my peace with it and just thought, well, I guess this is one of those days. I guess the delivery people for the weekend are just not going to bother. But it turns out they did bother. They just bothered so late that I didn't pay any attention until it was way too late to make a video. Lighting's bad enough in this place without filming in the dark. So I have a stack of books from yesterday. So yesterday was a non-mail day, but not a last mail day. And today is a gigantic stack of books. So we are not going to go without mail this week. We're just going to keep going. So we have a huge stack of books here. It ends in a very heavy box. I suspect I know what the box is. And once again, to increase the odds and make sure you pay attention, I am stipulating that if these do not include a book that makes Steve squeal like a small child on Christmas morning, one of you will die a slow, horrible death. Now, to ensure maximum objective fairness as to who is selected for this modern-day version of Shirley Jackson's The Lottery, I have employed a random Wilson Shugart generator to make sure that whoever is picked at the end deserves it. but considering how many packages are here, I really doubt that anyone is in danger. So let's start out and see what we have here. Mail on a Sunday. How's that? I've got the bean right here. She's standing here wondering if she wants to destroy a package. She's on the floor. But I don't think she's going to keep at it because it's a little warm today. And she loses her interest in doing anything when it's a little warm. Oh, great. Okay, great. I haven't actually read this. This comes out in early September. I should have got to it long since. This is by Walter Mosley, and this is Elements of Fiction. This is a slim book of his on writing. You know, famous and best-selling authors often contract to do a slim book of their thoughts on writing, and that's what this is. The author writes in his preface, "Fiction is one of the few constructive human activities in which we have the potential to make something from almost nothing. I agree completely, and you all should. Something from nothing. That kind of alchemy is a recipe for failure and also the hope for the miraculous." I don't know that it's a recipe for failure. It is certainly a hope of the miraculous. Those who have thought about it but have not tried writing, you should, because the feeling is unbelievable. It's indescribable, and you ought to have it. You ought to have that feeling, especially since it's never been any easier. You have a pad of paper, you have a pen, you have a computer with an open screen. You can write whatever you want. You have an endless archive of research, literally at your fingertips. So, it's almost August. What I suggest you do is contemplate, pull together, either make an open document on your computer screen or pull out a pad of paper and contemplate a story that you want to tell. Let's make it fiction to make it easy. What I want you to do is contemplate that story, write down the blockish, broadest outlines, the characters, where, what, whatever comes to you first. And then every day, go back and add details to that picture. Where specifically, who specifically, plot, what's going to happen, and how is it going to happen. I want you to do that for all of August, and all of September, and all of October. That's a long time to germinate and get all the bugs out, work it all out, without writing anything, without writing any prose other than that. Don't write the story, just write what the story is, your outlines, your character histories, your places. Do all the research and write all that down. All of that stuff, get that down and well known for August, September, and October, and then join me for NaNoWriMo in November and write that story at 50,000 words. That's what I want you to do. And that's what Walter Mosley wants you to do. All right, so let's move on. This next one is thick. It could be a finished copy. Oh, it is a finished copy. Okay, this is Tracy Borman. We saw this already. This is Jacobite fiction, if I remember correctly, which is kind of rare. This is The Devil's Slave, the sequel to The King's Witch. That is Ophelia. That is how you know that face. That is Ophelia. This is the second novel set in the early years of the treacherous Stuart reign. At the end of The King's Witch, the first book in Tracy Borman's Stuart-era trilogy, Frances Gorgeous was pregnant with the child of her dead lover, Thomas Wintour, executed for his role as a conspirator in the gunpowder plot. And in this new book, Frances is compelled to return to the dissolute and dangerous court where she had been suspected of witchcraft. So this is yet another in the deluge of historical fiction that we've seen this year. And this comes out in early September. Oh God, I hope these aren't all early September novels. My September shelf is bad enough as it is. Yeah, this comes out in early September. A nice, big, thick historical novel. I read The King's Witch and liked it. So where am I going to put these books? Where am I going to put them? I'm going to knock them over. What is this next one? Oh, this next one is not a book. Okay, this is a financial statement. So we don't need to open that. We don't need to open that. Doesn't really decrease the pile much at all. What is this next one? Oh, fantastic. Oh, great. All right, this comes out in late August. Great. So I have time to deal with this. This is by Edward Greenstein. This is a new translation of the Book of Job with commentary. A huge amount of commentary, obviously, since the new translation of the Book of Job would not take this big a book. This comes out in late August. The Book of Job has often been called the greatest poem ever written by biblical scholars who don't read poetry, maybe. The book, in Edward Greenstein's characterization, is a wunderkind, a genius emerging out of the confluence of two literary streams, which dazzles like Shakespeare with unrivaled vocabulary and a penchant for linguistic innovation. Okay, so the author is probably going to try to... oh yeah, look at that. See, you get verse and tons of notes. Wonderful. Fantastic. And I have not got to this yet, so that is great. All right, this shoots right to the top of the list. A new translation of the Book of Job. How wonderful. All right, let's see what this next one is. I was right about Frida. She retreated to the couch and is just watching me throw packages onto the floor. In the autumn, she will not do that, but it's a little warm here. Okay. All right, this is from Farrar, Straus and Giroux. This comes out in September as well. This is by Ruth Ashley with illustrations by Ernie Colon, who's comic book expert as well. He's a veteran of the comic book world. This is Uncle Sam Presents The Great American Documents, Volume 2, 1831 to 1900. This is a graphic novel about the documentary past of America. So that has lots and lots of detail, but also eye-catching visuals. So in other words, perfect for students. Absolutely perfect for them. And this covers 1831 to 1900, so it's going to cover the American Civil War and the Emancipation Proclamation and all sorts of stuff like that that really makes it a valuable teaching tool. I hate to say that. I hate to acknowledge that the young generation of American school children are so much dumber than previous generations that they need graphic novels to help them along. But any port in a storm, this will keep their attention. I can't wait to go through it myself and see what kind of a job the authors do, because it's a lot of material to crush down. Let's see. Let's keep going here. Wow, a graphic novel about late 19th century American documents. I love it. Okay. All right. This is now the fourth copy of this book that I've received. I hope it's the only one in this mail haul. This comes out already. This is out. This comes out in mid-August. And this is by Steve Kavanaugh. We've seen it a couple of times on this channel now. It's called 13. The tagline is, "The serial killer isn't on trial. He's on the jury." And the reason we've seen it a couple of times is because the original cover design wasn't this. So I got a reader's advance copy. I got a review copy of a different cover. And then the publisher decided, I think wisely, I held them up as soon as I got the ARC of this cover. I held the two up together, and it's a wise choice. This is a good cover, and the older cover was not. And this is just that. It's a willing suspension of disbelief. You have to believe that a serial killer could kill his replacement and get on a jury, and none of that is believable. But I have to confess, the whole flap with the cover art sort of put me off, or put me behind on reading this thing. It's a thriller set in a courtroom, so it should be catnip to me, and I haven't read it yet. And the pub date here is August 13th, so this is actually edging towards the top of the pile as well. All right, so let's move on. All right, so that is the finished copy of 13. That is what it's going to look like. Good. good. This is a rare case where the cover design was actually improved. That's good. So what do we got here? Oh, wow. Okay, I don't know what this is. This has got to be soon. Yeah, this is also mid-August. This is another historical novel. Good Lord. This one I didn't even know about. Didn't know it was coming. This is by Sarah Geo, and it's called All the Flowers in Paris. It's a pretty thing. Very pretty thing. This is a finished copy of All the Flowers in Paris. Comes out in mid-August. Oh, and there on the back is our author. Also a pretty thing. Look at that. How good for her. How wonderful for her that her new novel, I wonder if this is a debut, that her novel looks so nice. Imagine how proud she and hers must be to see this when it comes out in bookstores. I wonder if this is a debut. We'll find out together here. When Carolyn wakes up in a Paris hospital with no memory of her past, oh no, amnesia again, she's confused to learn that for years she lived a sad, reclusive life in a sprawling apartment on the Rue Claire. Slowly regaining vague memories of a man and a young child, she vows to piece her life back together, though she can't help but feel she may be in danger. A budding friendship with the chef of a charming nearby restaurant takes her mind off her foggy past, as does a startling mystery from decades prior. In Nazi-occupied Paris, a young widow named Céline is trying to build a new life for her daughter while working in her father's flower shop and hoping to find love again. Then a ruthless German officer discovers her Jewish ancestry, and she is forced to play a dangerous game to secure the safety of her loved ones. When her worst fears come true, she must fight back in order to save the person she loves most, her daughter. When Caroline, that's the amnesiac woman that we met first, discovers Celine's letters tucked away in a closet, she realizes that her apartment harbors dark secrets, and that she may have more in common with Celine than she could ever have imagined. I'm guessing that she's Celine's daughter. That'd be the obvious thing. All the Flowers in Paris is an emotionally captivating novel rooted in the resiliency and strength of the human spirit. And it's a human spirit, a human resiliency that I'm all primed to read about, because I just finished reading a book about resistance to the Germans, French resistance to the Germans under their rule. That did not tell us if this is a debut, though. Lots and lots of... Oh, no. Goodnight June, Morning Glory, Blackberry Window. No, this is not a debut. Okay. And the author lives in Seattle with her 3 young boys. And she's apparently had a big writing career. I don't know if I've ever read her. The name doesn't sound familiar. But I will certainly read this, and I'll read it right away, too, because it's right around the corner. All right, so another beautiful, multi-generational, intriguing, historical novel. I'm piling these on the arm of the easy chair. This is an old easy chair that was, you can't see because they've got a towel on here and a sheet on here, but it was brought over from Ireland. It is an old piece of furniture that has held up me bum for my whole life. And the arms are wide. I have balanced food, plates, stuff like that on this chair. This chair has a long history. So I'm hoping these don't fall over and scare the whip out of the beam. So let's move on to this next one. What is this next one? Okay. All right. What is this? It's a novel. Comes out on the 1st of August, so coming right up in paperback, $17. It is Gaudi and Rwan, and the authors are Fatima Sharafeddin and Samar Mahfouz Baraj, and it's translated by Sawad Hussein and M. Lynx Quayle. Yikes. Okay, translated from the Lebanese, I'm assuming. Is that true? It does not tell me. I'm assuming it's translated from the Lebanese, just by the names involved. Oh, but well, anyway, I should tell you about it, shouldn't I? Right, so this is the book. Gaudi and Rwan. There you have 2 cities on the cover. 2 very different cities. This is a heartfelt and timely novel by the award-winning authors Fatima Sharafeddin and Samar Mahfouz Baraj. The novel follows the close-knit friendship of 2 Lebanese teenagers, Gaudi, who lives with his family in Belgium, and Rwan, who lives in Lebanon. Gaudi's family travels every summer to Beirut, where Gaudi gets to spend all his time with Rwan and their other friends, enjoying their freedom from school. During the rest of the year, he and Rwan keep in touch by email. Through this correspondence, we learn about the daily ups and downs of their lives in Brussels and Beirut, including Gaudi's homesickness and his struggles with racism at school, as well as Rwan's changing relationship to her family. The novel offers a glimpse into the lives of Lebanese adolescents while exploring a range of topics relevant to young people everywhere: bullying, parental conflicts, racism, belonging and identity, and peer pressure. Through the connection between the two main characters, the authors show how the love and support of a good friend can help you through difficulties, as well as sweeten life's triumphs and good times. I know I'm an old softie, but that sounds fascinating to me. Absolutely fascinating. And this is August 1st, so this goes to the front of the list. It bumps the Book of Job. It bumps Walter Mosley. This is August 1st. The August 1st is next week. I think I will probably knock this off tonight. Wow, the University of Texas Press. Good for them. This is going to be a paperback release, and it isn't. I mean, there's text. We follow Gaudi and Rwan in their lives in normal text, but everything is buttressed by emails as well. Just in case you were wondering, the whole thing is not just an email chain. It'd be a rare author who could pull that off. Maybe these two can. I don't think I've read either one of them. Wow. Okay. All right. This comes first, but it's tiny. I'm going to be able to read all of these right away. There's nothing big here except for the box, and the box I think is one book, unless I'm very much mistaken. I think I know exactly what it is. All right. So what is this next one? Oh no! Oh wow! Oh, I should send this to Sean the Book Maniac. I don't think he watches my channel, but I think I should send this to him. This reminds me of him. This comes out in early August. This is by Christopher Moore, and it is called In Other Words. An illustrated miscellany of the world's most intriguing words and phrases. Sean has an ongoing feature on his channel that is very much like this. Ever racked your brain for a word you're convinced should exist, yet is inexplicably absent from the dictionary? All languages have their limitations. Should English fall short, the expression may lie elsewhere. That's where In Other Words comes in, a quirky international lexicon of linguistic gems that capture cultural untranslatables with satisfying precision. I love it. Once upon a time in my life, I would have bridled at the idea of untranslatables. But the more I read, the older I get, the more I believe that it is true. I hate to say it. I don't like to think that language has any limits. But wow, this is going to be fun to go through. And it's heavily illustrated. There's one word on the facing page, and the other page is a picture. So this is going to take 15 minutes to do. Okay, great. In other words, I should send that to Sean. I don't know if I have his mailing address. He might not be in my little black book. All right, let's move on here. What's this next one? Oh, no! All right. All right, this is a double. This is by Caitlin Doty. We've already seen this. This is Will My Cat Eat My Eyeballs? The answer to which, without being a forensics expert, is, of course, obviously yes. You're lucky the cat doesn't try to eat your eyeballs while you're sitting right there petting the cat. This is all about stories from funeral directors and morticians and mortuary experts about what happens to the body in death. And I very much want Olive, at a book Olive, to review this book. And now that I have a double, I will send it winging her way and see if that will entice her. This comes out soon, I think. Yeah, this comes out in early September. Okay, so we have a double of When Will My Cat Eat My Eyeballs? Now we get to the box. And unless I'm much mistaken, the box was also going to be a double. Not that I object to that. It does happen. You get on one publicist list, and then you're all of a sudden... another publicist doesn't know that, so you're on their list as well. I have a feeling I know exactly what this is. Yes, okay. All right. This is also a double. This is also a double. This is a great novel. This comes out in mid-August. This is The Catholic School by Eduardo Albanati. This is the second copy of The Catholic School, a huge book. Autofiction. The author writing about his time at a boys' school where a horrific crime took place. And all those elements should have had it, working uphill with me, and maybe it was. But even in an English translation, I thought this was just brilliant, just amazing. One of the best reading experiences I've had so far in 2019. Now, I have a double, but that's perfectly okay. I'd rather be doubly listed, and sometimes even triply listed with publishers as great as FSG or Norton, than not listed at all, like I am with some comic book publishers. But anyway, so that is our mail for today, which was not the last mail of the week because it's going to be mail tomorrow. We have the Catholic School, a double. We have Will My Cat Eat My Eyeballs, also a double. You're going to lose sight of me here. The cloud's going to block my face. Then we have, in other words, an illustrated little book about fun phrases that can't be translated completely. And, of course, one of the things I'm going to do when I go through here is see if that is true. Right? If the author here is saying, picks a phrase out of Polish or Russian or Chinese or whatever, and describes what it means and tells you there is no word that you can translate it to in English, and I think of a word, then I'm going to be thinking not about untranslatables, but rather about the author's limitations. So we will see if that happens. I often find that to be true when I'm looking at translated works, original and translation, and I come across a line, and it's obvious that the writer of the translator saw that term in the original language and thought, oh, there's no word like that in English. I'll have to use a circumlocution somehow. And I'm reading it with both, seeing both, and I'm thinking, no, there's this word in English, which you clearly don't know, and which works perfect. We'll see if it's a case of that or if it's a case of genuine untranslatables. It'll be fun either way. Then Gaudi and Rwan, a novel about two Lebanese teenagers. All the Flowers in Paris, a historical novel. 13 by Steve Kavanaugh, an Irish author. This is about a killer on the jury. The Great American Documents, Volume 2, all the way to 1900. Job, a new translation with lots of notes and commentary. Let's see here. Elements of Fiction by Walter Mosley, a slim book on writing. And The Devil's Slave by Tracy Borman, the second volume in her trilogy set in the court of the Stuarts. Kind of a rarity. Most people don't do that. They opt for the Tudors. So there you go. That is Sunday mail. A big, healthy dose of Sunday mail. And we're not going to have any break in the mail this week because we're going to barrel straight on to Monday. There had better be mail tomorrow. There had better be. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this up for now. But I'll be back. Thank you, BookTube.